All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along. Doctor, I need you in here. All right. One of my favorite. I really like Dr. Farrare. So, as you guys know, I've been talking to you for the last couple of weeks. Right, you're right here. I've been talking to you for the last couple of weeks. I made a trip over, I want to say like a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, to Gameday Men's Health in Owings Mills. And frankly, I was a little bit worried that I was low T. I just a little bit sluggish. I'm a little bit older. I'm a little bit. I said maybe that's what it is. Like maybe that's the answer. I'm gonna slide this microphone a little bit closer to you, Doctor, if you don't mind.
I'm not tall enough. Huh?
No, it's just you have to be right in front of it. It's the broadcasting thing. So I said maybe I'm low T, and so I got a test, and I'm sitting in the office with Dr. Farrare. And they bring in the slip of paper, and she actually starts laughing. And she says, yeah, the funny thing is you're not low T.
At all.
Like, even a little bit. And I said, oh, okay, well then I don't know what to do. And she said, well, let's talk about that. And so I want to welcome into studio this morning Dr. Candice Farrare from Gameday Men's Health in Owings Mills. It's wonderful to see you.
Oh, Glenn, it's a pleasure. Good to see you again.
I want to cover every layer of this, but I'm going to start with what it is that I'm doing. Because once you told me I wasn't low T, I was like, well, I guess it's okay. I'm just old. That's the way it's going to go. And you said, no, we still have a plan for what we could do to try to maybe make you feel a little bit more like yourself. Can you walk everybody through what it is that plan was and what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks that I'm telling you I am legitimately seeing some results from?
Yeah, so I just want to bring back, I laughed so hard because you really thought you were low T, Glenn. You just knew it. I mean, you said, I feel this way. It looks like this is the signs. I know something's going on. Maybe I need some tea. This guy's testosterone came back, and I'm like, I have not seen a number like this. I even asked you. I said, are you on something?
I thought my wife would be more impressed when I told her about. Not only that, but apparently I also had a wonderful prostate score.
Oh, a beautiful PSA as well. Yes.
And like I go back and say, look how lucky you are. And she was just like, yeah, whatever. Go grill something. I'm like, all right, fair enough. She was not impressed.
Yeah, no, but you're right. And then that's why these consultations is so important, because a lot of people come in and their first thinking is not always correct, and there's always something we can do. You weren't feeling your best. You thought something was wrong, so it's like, okay, let's dig into your symptoms. Tell me more about what's going on. And one thing, Glenn, you honed in on was like this recovery. You just noticed that you wake up and you feel older than you should.
Yep.
But it wasn't T-related, clearly. Your testosterone was like a 20-something-year-old, you know?
Again, I can't believe how unimpressed my wife is. I can't believe.
But your joints and tendons, ligaments were saying something.
Yeah, not at all. They were like, nah, dude, we're not joining you there.
Yeah, so as soon as he told me this, I'm like, I know what we can do for you. And it was peptides. And a lot of people don't know about peptides. And remind me, did you know anything?
Nothing. Zero. You were speaking a completely different language to me.
Hopefully I broke it down to you, though, because you walked out of there understanding, and you walked out of there with a plan and something you're doing right now.
So I'm about 3 weeks into taking peptides. It's very simple. I take one capsule every night. And you don't, like, it literally, I just put it right up in here. And then at some point I notice it's gone. Like, that just dissolves more or less. And can I be honest? Are we in a safe space?
Please.
When we decided to do this, there was a part of me that was like, I don't know, man. Like, what I was really thinking was, this can't hurt. Like, this isn't going to make anything worse. So, whatever, I'll go along with it. And I remember saying to you, because, again, I was a little, I don't know what I'm doing here. I remember saying, hey, what am I going to notice? What's going to be a measuring stick for whether or not this is working? And I remember you saying, like, well, it's different for everybody, and you might notice this. And I said, oh, I'm probably not going to notice. I was trying to cheat. Like, I want to pay a little bit closer attention. Like, maybe this will just be a placebo effect, but it'll make me feel like. And what happened was, and I said it, like, it's funny because I went out with a couple of my friends that I play tennis with on Sunday nights. We were talking about it the first week, and I said, I'll let you know, because they're actually very interested in, they're all in the same boat that I am. We're all in our 40s and feeling a little bit different. And, like, the first week I said, guys, I'm going to tell you, this is the first thing that I've noticed. most mornings when I wake up, I go through like a process of, and within the first week of taking the peptides, I like just got out of bed, and there was no production. There was no making. I was like, what the hell? Okay, maybe this is legit. And then I told you I played tennis last night, and we played doubles. So when you play doubles, you kind of have to crouch a little bit at the net when you're at the net. And I from having to be catcher to help my son's practice pitching recently, I'm the crouching part no good. I got down. I'm like, oh, okay, and I got right back up. And so I'm a believer. Can you explain what is actually happening to me?
Yeah, let's talk. I think the first question is what is a peptide, and how is it different than medication? How is it different than supplements? The best way I can describe what a peptide, people are familiar with amino acids. So a protein is long chains of amino acids kind of linked together. Everyone's familiar with protein, but not peptide. Think of a protein and you shorten that. It's a short chain. So short links of amino acids combined together forms a peptide. Now, peptides are like light switches. They're signaling molecules. They talk to certain parts of the body and tells it to do things, turn it on, turn it down. And one thing that you're on is the growth hormone peptide, so the HGH peptide.
Which is not a steroid.
Correct. Thank you so much, Glenn. We are, and it's not even growth hormone. We're not giving you growth hormone, right? We're giving you a peptide. So we're telling your body, your pituitary gland specifically in your brain, hey, you used to create a little bit more of this growth hormone, and you felt better, you slept better, your joints were better, your muscle grew better, your fat loss was greater when you had more of this hormone. Do it a little bit better, and that's what you're doing here with this peptide. You're making more growth hormone.
I love it. I feel very good. I like everything about it. I say all of this to say, Dr. Farrare, that it's not just peptide treatment, obviously, that you do at Gameday Men's Health.
No.
And can I make sure I have this right? Because I don't think we talked about this when it first started. People can just come in and get a testosterone test?
You can just come in and get a testosterone test. And it's important. A lot of people don't know their little T. They think they're good. They're the opposite of you. They come in and think,
I was like, honest to God, I was like, at least I'll get an answer. At least I'll know why it is that I don't feel right anymore. And then I like, you can just make an appointment.
Yes.
And come in and say, I'd like to know. I'd like to know the answer. I talked to you about this because I'm looking at two 20-year-olds right now who are just like, I'm good. Like, this is not a concern for me. I've got all the tea in the world, right? But like, when do you start to – because I know it's not just testosterone, it's ED,
right.
It's
weight loss.
When is it that, like, someone says, hey, I don't know that maybe – is there something going on here? Like, what is about the age where this starts to be a conversation?
When you're asking yourself, hey, is there something going on here? Yeah. Because it may not, you'll be surprised. I've had 26-year-olds walk in, and your T is double theirs.
Really?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. We're not just talking about, very obese men or men who just sit on the couch and eat chips all day. These are men who think they're living relatively okay, and they're not. They're not.
So walk me through, what would testosterone treatment look like? If that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
If I was, and I'd say that because I know three of the big things that Gameday Men's Health exists for. A couple of things that I would say. This is Glenn Clark speaking now, right? I'll let Dr. Farrare. I have described it as sort of a safe space because we as men, and I acknowledge this, and I think it's unique, particularly when I'm not old. I know that. I joke about being old all the time. I know I'm not actually old. I'm 41. I'm still very much in my prime. On the back end of it, but like I'm very much in my prime. And I say all the time, what we're going through, we don't like talking about it with other dudes. Like, I get together with my buddies. I don't like being like, hey, by the way, I don't feel like a man. Like, I feel like crap. I don't like talking about it. I know I have a million friends that are my age. Not one of them has ever spoken to me about, like, performance issues in the bedroom. And the math says someone that I I have lots of friends that are my age. Someone in that group is dealing with performance issues in the bedroom based on math alone, and yet none of them have ever brought it up in conversation.
Just the statistics alone.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
It's a guarantee. So the first thing I've said that it's the safe space. It's the let's go back and just talk. I didn't know you the first time that we chatted, but I told you honestly, like, here's everything that's going on with me. Like, because I needed to tell somebody. And that's the first thing that I liked about Game Day Men's Health is it gave me an opportunity to speak about these things. And it doesn't – you are a doctor. I want to make this very clear. Dr. Farrare is a doctor. But it doesn't feel like when you go into a general practitioner's office and it all kind of feels – I don't know, like too much like a hospital, too much like it doesn't feel personal.
Sterile,
yeah,
cold.
Thank you. That's a great – so that's the first thing I like about it. But I know the big functions are for ED, testosterone treatment, and then weight loss. Can you walk me through what that might look like for someone who's struggling with like when I was a younger man, I could get belly fat off much quicker. It's taken longer. Or someone who is saying, yeah, I don't know if I've got ED, but I know there's a problem at this point.
Yeah, well, first I wanna thank you for pointing out the safe space part.
Yeah,
it really is, and I mean, let's be honest, let's be real. I'm a female working with men who are talking about very personal things, right?
Yeah.
So my goal is before I even start talking about anything is, hey, let me get to know you. I want you to know a little about me and why you can be safe here, why this is a comfortable. I speak with men there's nothing you can say that I haven't heard, right? I say that to my guys all the time. And also just to make it clear, I am Dr. Farrare, but I'm actually a nurse practitioner with my doctorate. So I just wanted to make that clear to the audience. There are medical doctors that I think doctor title you automatically assume. Yeah. But I am a nurse practitioner and practiced for many years, and I have found Men's Health to be it's my safe space. As crazy as that sound, but it's one where I feel like I can practice without the sterility, the coldness of medicine. You know, I think men aren't looking for that. So I really think they feel more comfortable just saying, hey, I want to know I'm talking to a human.
You don't feel like you're in a doctor's office when you're there. It's the best way I could describe it. Like, I sat in even the waiting room. Like, there's snacks and there's
a big screen TV and leather
sports on.
sofas.
And I pulled my laptop out, and I'm just, like, sitting there getting some work done and, like, hanging out listening to music. And it just doesn't feel that sterile is such a good word for it.
Yeah.
Like, when you go to a doctor's office, it is – you just don't even want to be there. Like, you just feel like it's a place that you want to get this over with as quickly as you possibly can. And that is not the vibe.
Not at all.
When you walk into Game Day Men's Health. So I wanted to say that first. But
yeah,
yes.
Thank you. Yeah, so once we get to know each other a bit, the consultation is the most important part. And where we go from there is based on what you're saying. You know, I have guys come in, they're complaining about weight. So we're like, okay, let's talk about, you know, what options are here. But my biggest, and I think what Game Day, Owings Mills, Frederick specifically, education is power. A lot of people don't know they're feeling bad until you explain what good feel like and what they should be feeling like. And I've heard what you said, Glenn, about I'm just getting old. And they're 40-year-olds, and I'm like, if you're old, I'm old, and I'm not old. So, and I think I told you that. I believe that, Glenn. I believe we're right here. We're peers, and I refuse to call us.
You did say that, right?
You know, but I think when you have lived, you get so comfortable feeling sick that you forget what feeling good feel like. That's pretty much where we start is when did you start feeling like you were breaking down?
Well, and I don't think people realize how much that affects you in other aspects of your life. Like, it's one thing to say, and I say this with my general practitioner, who, by the way, I didn't have one, and I just, Dr. Farrare and I had that conversation too, and I now have one, and I went and saw him last week.
I'm proud.
And we had that conversation where I'm like, I just feel like I can deal with certain things, right? And it's important what you say because you don't realize how it impacts you. The thing that you're just like, I'm tough. I can deal with it. You don't realize when you might be taking that out on someone else. What you're dealing with, you're then taking out on your partner or your kids or your in your job, right? Yeah. Like Griffin's been saying, go to a doctor, man. Like, stop screaming at me all the time. Like, go to a doctor. But no, it's real.
I mean, it's not your fault. It's society. Society did that to you guys. You know, as a woman, I can say that with confidence. Society definitely.
Yeah,
dealt
we're just
you
supposed to be tough. We're just supposed to be tough. Just deal with it.
You know, you're the only one going through this, so be quiet, tough it up, and just push through. And this is how you get a bunch of men with no quality of life. You know, they may live long and they may have quantity. They live till they're 80, but they're miserable since they were 40. And it's like, that was your prime time, and you threw it in the trash because you were scared to speak.
Let me ask the questions that I know someone's asking right now, right?
Yeah.
I come in to see you. You say you're low T, or I think you should go through an ED treatment. Their first question is going to be, well, how much is this going to cost me? Does my insurance get involved? Like, they want to know. They want to know the nitty gritty, because it's, again, oftentimes for men, this is like, I don't feel so great, but if it's going to cost me money, I'll suck it up, right?
You got it. Yeah.
Can you walk me through some of that?
Yeah, I think the first thing is the insurance conversation. We're able to nip that in the butt really quick, and I'm gonna have this conversation without. So I did primary care for years. So let's be real. I build insurance. I did all the codes, and fought with insurance companies about getting things covered. I know how it works, and how can we say this? We're not very proactive in our medical system right now. We're very reactive. We wait till you get sick. We wait until there's a disease process rearing its ugly head. And not just wait till there's a disease process going. Wait until it's so severe that now we have to intervene with surgery and medication. We're talking preventative health, right? When you're coming to me, you're saying, I don't feel good, but I'm well. I don't have diabetes. I don't have high blood pressure. So I must be okay, right? Because my doctor said I'm okay, but I don't feel okay. We're talking prevention. We're talking, hey, you're knocking on the door of having a disease. It just hasn't shown yet. And they're waiting for you to get sick enough. I'm waiting for you to come and tell me you don't feel right so that we can prevent you from getting sick. So right out of the back, insurance tend to not really get involved with things like this. If you're not sick enough, good luck. You're going to be out of pocket, which is sad to say. I hate that about this field, because you do have to have some disposable income to be able to kind of jump ahead of this. Not always, but let's pretty much to come to game day, right? We're cash based. But so once we get past the hurdle of insurance companies not getting involved, then the conversation is, how much is it? And I'm like, well, how much are you willing to invest in your health?
Yeah, it's a quality of life conversation.
Yeah, it's
right,
the quality of life conversation. Like, I'm not your spouse. I don't do finances with you. I can't answer that question of whether or not this is a good idea for you, because you have to really have that conversation with yourself and whoever else pay your bills, But it's what you're willing to invest in feeling better is the conversation where I go. I don't like to talk money, I'm going to be honest.
But it starts with that complementary testosterone test. Come in, get your testosterone test, and then we'll go from there, right? Yeah. And figure that out. And
then you'll know how much you're willing to invest in that. You get some answers, you get some education. Then maybe it was just you didn't know enough, and now you're like, hey, 300 sound like a lot when I walked in this door, but now that you're saying I can feel so much better, 300 I can spend in a restaurant on a date with a girl easily, so you start looking at money a little different when you start putting it to your health.
I highly recommend making the phone call or visiting GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Yeah.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com for the Owings Mills location, 443-264-4454. Just make the call. Just say, hey, look, I just want to talk about it. I just want to come over and have a conversation. I don't know yet where I am, but there's something going on, and I'd like to come over and have a conversation. And that's where everything starts.
That's the start.
And I would tell you, I'm only starting the process, and I've already seen the results. I've already seen a real impact from it.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Dr. Candice Farrare.
Glenn.
It's great to see you. I look forward to coming back over to see you on your home turf. And we will continue to discuss how it is that we can help men reclaim their game and feel like men again at Game Day Men's Health.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for stopping in and seeing me.
Thanks for having me.